welcome to the Imagine Crafts YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, here on YouTube, and today I am going to experiment a little bit with my Sheer Shimmer Spray. I have it in Sparkle, and as you saw, I gave it a really good shake because you'll notice when you have this that there's a fair amount of very fine glitter, and that will tend to settle at the bottom, and I just want to make sure that I mix that up really well, because what I want to do is actually take some of this, just going to use a clean eyedropper here, and decant it, a little bit of it, into this really tiny, it's a really cute little mini mister, and I love using these little vials because they're small, and when I experiment with doing anything like this where I'm going to try to tint my shimmer spray, I don't have to mix up a ton of it. And sometimes you know how it can be hard if you've got like a larger spray bottle. If you don't have enough like volume of whatever liquid, it's really hard to spray. So with these little vials, it is easy to just mix up like just what I need for this one craft session, and I don't have to waste a lot of product if it doesn't actually turn out the way that I'd like. So you can see how little there is in there, but in terms of, you know, the level of the fluid within that container, it's certainly enough for that uptake tube to actually spray it out. And I just added some of my dye ink refill to a very little amount, maybe just a drop, maybe two, I think. And I only mixed up, I would say, a third of this little spray vial, maybe even less than a third. I don't really, first off, I didn't really know how this would look. And second, I don't really want to keep a lot of these on hand. I just want to basically mix up what I think I'll use in this craft session, and then clean it and use it maybe for a different color later. So I've given it a good mix, and what I'm going to do is spray basically as many panels as I can get out of this little, the little vial that I have here. And having this little spray box will help to protect my tabletop. And you can see that how fine that mist is. I didn't really measure at all how much of the shimmer spray I was using versus how much of the dye ink. You could definitely get more precise about that if you really cared to like recreate the exact same effect, but I am not too concerned with that. And I will note that if you add more of your dye ink in whatever color that you're using, it will look a little bit more intense, but you could just get the same effect by letting your panel dry and then just spraying it again and giving it a second coat. Now, I ended up actually making a few panels, and for one of them, I even added a second color. So that's when things really, I think, start to get a lot of fun, when you start mixing not two different colors within the same vial, although I think that would be really fun too, because you don't really need a lot of different colors of the ink refills. You can mix your own colors, and so long as you have the three primary colors, you can just about make any color you'd like. But I think where the fun is actually not so much in that, but in making two separate sprays and then spraying over top the other before that first one has a chance to completely dry, and you get this really lovely blend of colors, and it's very soft. At least the way that I diluted my colors, it's very soft. It's not a super intense color, and you get that really great gradation too, where the two colors have mixed, because I made one in sort of a pinkish red, and the other was my yellow. And so there are parts of that second panel, the multicolor panel, that it looks like there's a lot of colors going on there, but really it was just two different sprays. And it's really hard to capture with the lighting setup that I have just how sparkly this panel is. It's one of these things where you really have to just see it in your hands, because the wonderful thing about the Sheer Shimmer Spray is that it looks where it shines, quite literally, is when it catches light at different angles. And so at some angles, to look at it, it looks very flat and unassuming, and you might catch a couple of sparkles here and there. But then when you tilt this in the light, really that shimmer is dispersed throughout the entire panel. It's very, very gorgeous. And so it's great. I really like the sparkle color because it's translucent. You can tint it in whatever colors you'd like, and it a little goes a really long ways. I think mixed up maybe a quarter to a third of that little vial, and I think I ended up getting 4 or 5 panels, especially since I did add a little bit of a second color in the second vial. I didn't mix up quite as much of the second vial, but it turned out beautifully. I really, really love it, and I do want for the backgrounds to shine, literally, so I'm not going to add too much more to my card, because I want to just let as much of the background show through as possible, so I don't want to cover it up with too much. And when I'm looking for something like that, where I want the background to really stand forward, I look for big sentiments that are bold, and that's why I picked this one. It's a stamp and die set, so I like that it's very striking with the black, especially with the black border all the way around. But it doesn't really require too much more than just the sentiment. I did stamp the little sentiment just to complete the phrase, and I stamped that directly onto this cardstock, and it stamped just fine. So all of that shine and the shimmer from the spray, it doesn't impact your ability to stamp right on top of it. And I just used my favorite sentiment ink, which is the VersaFine Onyx Black, and it worked beautifully. So here's a close-up of both cards. I know it's really, really hard to see that shine, but hopefully you can kind of catch it there. And if not, check out my Instagram. I'm LV Handcrafted on Instagram as well. And hopefully the photos give you a better look at just how beautiful these shimmer sprays are. And now you can tint them and have basically endless number of colors. Thanks for checking out this video. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye!